What up, Gripsters and random YouTubers? Evan here for Grips.com with another hand history review from this year's Spring Championship of Online Poker. Today, we are going to be going through event number 2, which was a multi-day entry event. That means over the course of the 2-week series, Pokerstars ran feeder tournaments every single day to this tournament so that they could get this prize pool to be massive. $5 million massive, to be exact. The buy-in for this tournament was $1,000. Players could enter up to like 14 times. And the final prize pool ended up being $5.821 million. Let's meet our players on this final table. In seat 1, we have Gordon Veo, also known as Holla at Ya Boy. He has over $2.5 million in online winnings and over $6 million in live winnings, including a second place finish in the 2016 main event. In seat 2, we have Vico Scarpini, a Brazilian reg with over $1 million in tournament winnings. In seat 3, we have Giraffe Ganger, an OG gripster. In fact, he was the second hand history review we ever did on the channel back in 2013. I'm sure some of you guys remember that one. It was the bigger 11 win, and a bunch of people said this guy's crazy, he's just lucky, he's just bad. Well, maybe he was on to something. I want to give a lot of props to Giraffe Ganger. He's someone who, made the effort to invest in his game. He did a lot of studying with grips, he did a lot of studies with training sites, and then decided he wanted to take it to the next level and joined a stable, Poker to be exact. A stable is a group of players where there are investors, there are backers, there are coaches, there are students, and everyone gets better together. Since joining that stable, he has gone on to win a T-Coup for $80,000, chop a Sunday Million Anniversary Edition for like $700K or something crazy like that, and he's just got tons of other results on the side. And this really goes to show the power of joining a community of like-minded people who are working on a common goal similar to yours. So props to Giraffe Ganger for sticking with it, staying dedicated, focusing on his goals, and making his dreams come true. In seat 4, we have OMG Sam Jesus, who's been playing since 2012. Not a ton of volume in multi-table tournaments, but he is a supernova, so definitely a grinder. He's coming in with 40 big blinds. Giraffe Ganger has 80. Scarpini has 40 blinds, and Holla at Ya Boy has 16. In seat 5, we have Kiss My Ace Please, who I couldn't find anything from on search, but I know I've seen him around. He's definitely a reg. He comes into the final table with 50 big blinds. In seat 6, we have Jeff Kid Who Won Gross, who you also probably know. He's a Twitch streamer, huge personality, and an all-around awesome guy. He's been in the game for a long time and improved a ton in the last 2 years. He's been working with guys like Brian Rast, Antonio Esfandiari, and one thing I noticed about Jeff is he's definitely someone who puts in the work. He crunches out the numbers. He works with softwares like ICMizer, Flopzilla, finds the spot. He's always in the lab, and it's shown in his results. He had a huge win on America's Card Room in their million, and his results just keep getting better and better and better. It really goes to show that hard work pays off. He's coming to the final table with just over 20 big blinds. In seat 7, we have Ya Kiddin' Me, who has over 500K in profits, playing since 2009. Couldn't find much more info other than that. He's coming to the final table with 60 big blinds. In seat 8, we have Rebel Fish AK, who shipped a Super Tuesday in 2015 for $68,000, part of a 3-way deal. That's all I could find on him. He's coming to the final table with 23 big blinds. And in seat 9, we have Bishby Cray, a mystery player who appears to have only been online for 1 year, but managed to find his way to this 1K buy-in final table. He's coming in with 24 big blinds. As for the payouts, which is what you really want to know, 9th place in this tournament will be receiving $58,822. 8th place receives $83,820. 7th place, $119,442. 6th place, $170,202. 5th place, $242,534. 4th place, $345,604. Third place, where the big money always is, $492,477. Second place is $701,766. And first place is, get this, a cool $1 million. $1 million, 3.25 cents to be exact. So now that we've gone over the players, we've introduced the players, we've looked at the stack sizes, and we know what they're playing for, let's go ahead and get into the action. Got the GLs coming from everybody. GL. Good luck all. Everybody's pretty happy right now. Guaranteed a big payday. Kiss My Ace Please opens it up with Ace Queen of Spades. Early position. Bishop Cray. I think he's got too much to really commit any chips. If he was a little shorter, he could consider maybe going for that reshove, but we don't know how wide Kiss My Ace is going to be opening. And, coming into the final table, he probably wants to get some pay jumps. He probably wants to ladder up. So Vico defends the big blind with Jack 10, getting a great price, and both players flop a little piece of the board. We got top pair and a backdoor flush draw against second pair. I think it's going to go check call. See Kiss My Ace Please going with a very small bet sizing, just 1/3 of the pot, while everyone else gives their good lucks all around, and Richard lets him know a millionaire is in the making. Thinking Kiss My Ace Please shoes, it's a great spot to bet again. His opponent can have a lot of draws. His opponent can have weaker aces. He can have a pair of jacks, maybe even a 5. The big blind player is going to be defending a very wide range of hands pre-flop and is going to be calling with a lot of hands on the flop. So there are a lot of hands that he can value bet against. This river we see Vico makes 2 pair, and I think it might be too thin for Kiss My Ace Please to bet again with Ace Queen here. I don't think he can expect his opponent to call with a Jack, and I don't know if he can expect his opponent to call with Ace 9 or Ace 8. I mean, I think a check's good, and Vico Scarpini wins the pot, having caught 2 pair on the river. Anyone think maybe leading the river would be good there, or do you think it's just silly because you could still run into like King Queen and better 2 pair, and even though you made 2 pair, you're not certain your hand's good. I think we'll see Rebel Fish open here, just good enough to play. Ace Jack is about the bottom of the range, maybe Ace 10 with antes, but he opts to fold because of ICM reasons. Again, holla at your boy shorter than him. Bishop Cray has a similar small stack. Kid Who Won has a similar size stack. And Rebel's just like, I'm just going to sit on my chips and wait for some players to get knocked out. Probably the same reason we just saw OMG Sam Jesus fold Queen Jack suited from the small blind to a cutoff open. Seems pretty tight. But when you look at the stack sizes and you remember that at the beginning of a final table when there are a lot of small stacks, it's best for the medium stacks to avoid the big stacks and focus on playing pots with the smaller stacks. Remember, a lot of interesting factors. The rando player is going to be the widest opener, no surprise there. Kiss My Ace Please, get a decent price, but again, is Bishop Cray opening worse hands than Ace 10 from this position? Like Ace 9, Ace 8? Probably not, so I like the fold there. I'll probably see OMG Sam Jesus open here. Ace 8's definitely a good enough hand to open from the cutoff. And then our boy Jeff Gross with King Queen in the small blind on less or exactly 20 blinds. Reckon he might just have to hit him with the old push and pray. Jeff goes all in with King Queen. Tough spot for OMG Sam Jesus. Yes, he happens to have the best hand, but if the cards were not turned up against the range, Jeff's going to be shoving. Ace 8 is not doing great. Jeff's shoving all the better aces, all the pairs. He is shoving those broadways, and he's shoving a few worse aces, the suited aces, Ace 2, Ace 3, Ace 4, Ace 5. But that's a very small part of his range because, the suited aces are a quarter as common as the unsuited aces. So if you look at how many Ace Jack off, Ace Queen off, Ace King off, Ace 10 off, he's going to have compared to those small suited aces, you'll see that a great majority of the time, OMG Sam Jesus is way behind there with his Ace 8. So I like his fold there. All right, we got a bit of a cooler here. We got a bit of a setup hand. I see an Ace Queen suited and a King's blind versus blind on shallow stacks. Yeah, I think some money's going to be getting in the middle here. You kidding me? With a very playable hand on the button as well. Jack 10. He goes for the min raise, as he should. Playable hand. Bigger stack than his opponent. Can put the pressure on them. And Rebel Fish makes the reshove. There's not really too much else to do on that stack size. He probably doesn't want to call and induce a jam from Bishop Cray, so it's better to just jam and get Bishop Cray out of there. Unfortunately for him, he's run into the kings, and he's going to need some help on this board. So we got ace queen suited against kings. No luck for Rebel Fish AK, and he's going to be going out in 9th place, taking home $58,822. Ooh, tough situation for Jeff. Little over 20 blinds. He's got the pocket jacks, the hotas, and he's up against queens and ace king. There's only one stack that's shorter, so there's not a ton of like ICM reason to not go with the hand. And so Jeff goes with a small 3-bet. I'd imagine he's planning to call off. And an interesting spot for Giraffe Ganger, a raise from under the gun and a 3-bet from a short stack. Probably a spot where ace king just gotta let her go. If he 4-bets, he's committed against both stacks. So he's basically saying he's okay to run it for 40 blinds against under the gun, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. Now, it was awkward spot for Giraffe, even more awkward for OMG Sam Jesus. And actually, facing a cold 4-bet from the big blind with how strong these ranges look, tough spot for our boy Jeff Bros too. What would you do with 2 jacks if you were in this spot and you couldn't see the whole cards? He calls. Good luck to our boy, kid who won. We got two-thirds of a pot size bet left. Ace king, if it's just 2 overcards, 25% chance of winning, and that's about the odds he's going to be facing if there's a jam. It's going to be 6 million in the middle, 2.3 to call. Pretty much the right price there. And I'm super confused why Jeff would check that flop and not just go all in. I mean, at this point, the pot's so big, your stack's so small, you got to go with this hand on this board. Why let your opponent get a free card? Is there actually a hope that this is going to get checked down to the river? And that, like, you won't get stacked by queens, kings, and aces? I'm very confused by both players' play on the flop, but much more Jeff's play than Giraffe Ganger's. But hey, maybe we can holler at our boy Jeff and find out why he did that. All in. At this point, with the ace coming on the turn, Jeff doesn't beat much. Cold 4-bet range is probably queens plus, ace king, and if for some reason he decided he wanted to 4-bet bluff with an ace blocker, well, he's made a pair of aces, so that particular turn, Jeff doesn't beat much at all. He's going to have to fold. A good laydown on the river, but I can only wonder what would have happened if he'd have just put it all in on the flop. Would Giraffe Ganger have check called it off? What do the charts say? Is it a snap shove? Is it a snap shove? Tank shove? Ooh. I don't think it's the kind of hand we want to min raise with. I think if we want to min raise in this position, we want to have hands that flop better, like king queen suited. So if we're going to play the hand, it's probably for a jam. Jeff opts to go for the jam. Is OMG Sam Jesus going to make the call with the ace queen? No, he is not. And I think that's a fair fold as well. Jeff's probably not going to be just open shoving ace jack there. His open shoving range is probably mostly medium pairs and ace king, against which ace queen's doing okay, but it's for half of his chips. Does he really need to flip for half of his chips at a final table? Big pay jumps on the horizon? I don't think so. Fold to OMG Sam Jesus in a cutoff. Got the ace 10 suited. Gonna raise it up. I think we'll be seeing a flop against You Kidding Me. Ace 9 definitely a good enough hand to defend with. Also a hand that could be used as a 3-bet bluff if one would be so inclined. He's got the blocker with the ace. He'll be putting OMG Sam Jesus to a very tough spot, 3-betting into that stack size. Just like to notice that, like, usually most of the plays have merit, you know. Calling's good, 3-betting's good, folding probably not so good, but it's important to look at all the options and then try to choose the best one. You don't just want to make a good play, you want to make the greatest play that you can. See another third pot C-bet. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. It's a board that's not connecting with too much of the opening range, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see You Kidding Me call with ace high on the flop, but he decides he wants to check raise it. Again, check calling, fine. Check raising may be better. Why? As I said, it's a board that's hard to hit, and therefore Sam Jesus is going to have a lot of hands that will have to fold to a check raise that may actually be ahead of You Kidding Me. We got to open from 10s. reshove for 20-something bigs from Holla at Your Boy. I think if you're kidding me, you don't love it, but you're probably going to make the call with 2 10s here. Gordon's going to have the ace-king. He's going to have the ace-queen suit. He's probably going to have 9s here too. Probably not 8s, but he's got enough hands that you're flipping with and one that you beat. You could probably call. Also, what percentage of the chips is it? It's for 1/3 of his chips. And if he calls and loses, he's still in like 3rd place. Yeah, I think he can justify calling. He's probably thinking, though, if I fold, I'm in 2nd place, so I'd be chilling. And I don't have his range smashed. So do I want to gamble for 1/3 of my chips? No, he opts to make the fold and decides he would rather preserve his chip position than take what would be a marginal spot, thin edge. And even if he thinks he's like basically flipping against the range or slightly behind, because there is that dead money out there, because there was, an extra 657,000 in play, it justifies the ability to call a little wider. Even if he thinks he's slightly behind, mathematically, from a chip EV perspective, he's still getting the right price to call because there's that extra money in the pot. He's not calling, 3 million to win 6. He's calling like 3 million to win 7. All right, Gordon Veo picks up ace queen on 21 blinds, middle position. Giraffe Ganger, great blockers, great playable hand. Ace jack, he's gonna see 3. So Kiss My Ace flops the best hand, but if he thinks about the ranges he's up against, I don't know if he's going to feel super confident with his 5. So he decides to lead out for, is that 1/4 of the pot? Leads out for 1/4 of the pot to see where he's at. Gordon Veo says, even though the price is decent, I got too short of a stack. I can't commit any of my chips to this. That's too much. What about Giraffe Ganger? He's getting over 5 to 1 on a call. I was saying, like, Kiss My Ace could have, like, some deuces, but not that many. In the big blind, he could have a lot of deuces, but in the small blind, not so much. And Giraffe Ganger recognizes that and opts to raise it up. He's pretty much only losing to ace-deuce suited if Kiss My Ace calls with that, which he may just fold pre. So he's really losing to 2s and 3s in terms of which hands can take heat, and those hands would probably check the flops. So I think Giraffe Ganger did a great job of correctly identifying that Kiss My Ace's leading range on this board is not that strong, and so he just raises it up and takes it right now. How are you going to do it, Gordon? You're going to min raise, hit him with a little min piece. Is Ganger going to just pile him in and put the ICM pressure? Yes. Because you know what? We've watched Gordon Veo play. He probably would have folded queens there. Actually, funny story. I was on the main event bubble in, I think it was 2014 or 2015. 2014 with Gordon Veo. And we were like 3 players away from the money or something. We were just talking about like what hands we would fold because we were pretty much guaranteed to cash. And he's like, I wouldn't fold queens. I'm like, I'd fold queens. He's like, whatever. Next hand, he gets queens, gets it in against queens, bubbles. It's very gross. Very gross. And then the next hand, 2 away from the money, I got dealt queens right after I'd said to the dealer, like, seriously, dude, I would fold queens. And because I only started the hand with 5 big blinds, because I was so short, and I was like, okay, if I fold, I'm guaranteed to make the money. I'm guaranteed to make $20,000, and then I can try to spin my stack up. If I shove, there's a decent chance I'm going to get called. In fact, a pretty good chance I'm going to get called because I'm so short. And although I have queens, I have a very good hand, there's a greater chance of me getting eliminated if I shove than if I just fold, right? If I get called by an ace or a king, I have a 30% chance of getting eliminated. Even if I get called by 2 undercards, I have a 20% chance of getting eliminated. Whereas if I fold, I am guaranteed to make $20,000. Now, people might say, but you got to think about winning the tournament. You got to take your chances, get your chips there, and try to win the tournament. Well, let's say I shove and I get it through. How much better are my chances of winning the tournament with 700 people left if I have 7 blinds instead of 5 blinds, or 8 blinds instead of 6 blinds? So the upside of getting it through is not very big, but the downside of not getting it through is the end of the world. And if I got it through, or if I got called and I doubled, and I get to 10 blinds or 11 blinds, 12 blinds, even still, how much better are my chances of winning the tournament with 12 blinds than 6 blinds with 700 people left? Long story short, I folded the queens. made it to the money, and then 2.5 hours later, I'd spun my 30K back up to 250K. So patience pays. Plus, I had $20,000 guaranteed. Bubble play is silly. ICM play is silly. It's just like you got to make plays that make no sense from a normal perspective. But it's because you have these extra variables in play, these extra factors that you must consider into your decision making beyond just your cards and the value of the chips. All right, our boy Jeff, ace 9, 9 blinds. What's the chart say, bro? What does the ICM chart say, dude? Oh man, what do I do? Do I do it? Did I put it in for 9 blinds? What does it say? It says it's a shove. Gordon, 30 your chips, bro. Yeah, snap. Gordon, I'm pretty sure Gordon Veo is someone who has studied his ICM numbers, his push-fold numbers. Guy's been playing since he was 15 years old. And with that hand, Jeff Gross has been eliminated in 8th place, taking home $83,820.65. Well played, Mr. Gross, and congratulations on the huge return on investment. All right, OMG Sam Jesus, you're 7-7, bro. You got ace queen on 11 blinds. You know Giraffe Ganger's been making moves. He makes the call. I like it. I like it. I don't love it if I'm in his shoes, especially because that can happen. Ooh, Quadzita! But, you know, sometimes you got to run the cards, especially when you are the low man on the totem pole. And with that elimination, OMG Sam Jesus is taking home $119,442.26 for 7th place. And the remaining players are guaranteed $170,000. You kidding me? He's got the 7s in the hijack. That's going to be an open. And I think we will be seeing a shove from Vico Scarpini and a call from You Kidding Me, because this time he can afford it. Unlike earlier in the tournament where he had that very tough spot against Gordon Veo with the pocket 10s, where he decided he did not want to gamble with 1/3 of his chips. Now it's for like 1/5 of his chips. He's getting almost 2-1 on the call, and his opponent can be shoving a little bit wider. I think Vico Scarpini would be racketed in there with any pair there. So he gets it in, gets the double up, and well played by both players. Vico's going to open the ace queen. I think we're going to see a Rip City from Kiss My Ace Please on 15 big blinds. And Vico, I reckon Vico's going to call. Kiss My Ace can show up with ace jack, ace 10 suited, king queen. And Vico's a player. I think he's ready to roll the dice. All right, we got a shove. Kidding Me's going to get out of the way. What's the price? 3.2 to play for 4.6. Oh, got him. Vico Scarpini pairs his queen, doubles up, and Kiss My Ace Please is going to be taking home $170,202 for his 6th place finish. You're down to 5 players, all guaranteed $250,000. What? Heaps. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for part 1 of the series. I hope you found this video educational and entertaining. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and click that like button, and let me know what your favorite hand was in the comments section of this video so that we can get our learn on together. If you haven't yet joined our team, go ahead and mash that subscribe button and join Team Grips. I'll see you next Tuesday for part 2. And until then, you know what to do. Take what you learned, go out there, and get stacking.